settle down, get sorted. You there, coming in late. I don't want to hear excuses.
But
Bag down.
But
Up, come on, time for Ghosts of Boyfriends Past.
Oh, okay.
All these people are waiting because we can listen to podcasts all at the same time. Hello one, hello all. I'm Tom Harris, and across from me is Elizabeth Best.
That is me, Elizabeth Best.
You joined us on a wee quickie episode of Ghosts of Boyfriends Past. This week, it's questions themed. Yes, you have your questions for us. Then Liz and I, we try our best to give good advice. We try our best to answer it. Sometimes we fall short, and if you can yes and us and do better than our advice, let us know.
Perfect.
Send in your advice to ghostsofboyfriendspast@gmail.com if you or questions of your own. Elizabeth, I'll open the batting here. Mm-hmm. Hi, LT and Z.
Ooh.
Recently, my partner has gone from rarely, if ever, to quite frequently buying me flowers.
Okay.
Once a month or so is quite the Once a month or so is quite the increase from never.
Yes.
Though, of course, I'm maybe overthinking. Thoughts?
Am I being cynical today, or am I being happy?
Oh, go on. You know you.
Well, look, I think it could either be the result of someone who realizes that they haven't been appreciating their partner enough.
Sure.
Because I have had that happen where someone's, we've had one fight and I've said something like, it really annoys me when you say that you love me all the time, but you never show me, and then all of a sudden there's nice little acts of,
I agree with you. This question, I've got like 4 or 5 different answers, alternate answers.
Unless some other behaviours changed, I wouldn't immediately go to he's cheating. That's where my brain goes because of my baggage. You see.
Yes, but
I think unless there's any other evidence. Don't look the gift flowers in the mouth.
Yes,
I don't know. It just seems really nice.
Don't immediately jump the gun to bad news. As Liz was saying, he may have gone, done some thinking on his own and gone, you know what? I've never bought my partner flowers.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to do. I want to be a flower buying boyfriend.
Yeah, I want to be that guy.
Yeah, I want to do that. And I think the best reason for flowers is no excuse, right?
Me
flowers
too.
Out of the blue.
Honestly,
right?
the number of times where I say the number of times, it happened like 3 times ever. And never on days when I actually really wanted flowers. But I appreciated them more when he was just like at the supermarket and he's like, I saw that they had Lizzie, because my name's Elizabeth. I quite like Lysianthus flowers because they call them Lizzies and they're also really pretty. And he's like, I saw they had some Lizzies and so I had to buy them for you. And I was like, adorable. I love it. I love that you were doing an ordinary everyday thing and thought
Brownie
of me.
Brownie points for you,
loved
sir.
Loved it.
He mayhaps have found a cheap flower guy, and he says,
or someone needs to take the centerpiece home from work every month.
That's right.
You don't know.
So there's multiple.
Appreciate it until there's some problems to deal with.
Now. Oh. It's a bit pop psychology or like voodoo, not voodoo, sorry. There is a societal wisdom that says if your partner starts being more and more nice to you, that means he's thinking of breaking up with you, right? Because it's bothering you up for bad news. Now, I'm not saying this
I haven't heard that one.
No, have you not?
No.
3 years of us hosting a relationship podcast, and that little bit of wisdom or supposed wisdom hasn't come across our desk.
I think it's more that I've heard if they start doing extra romantic things or going to the gym a lot and they're cheating on you. I've heard that one. Yeah. But I do firsthand know someone that literally brought a friend a pack of Tim Tams so that she had something nice to console her once he dumped her. But
Gee whiz.
And they're going to come on the show at some point. I've been bugging them about it for a while.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so where has this come from? Is this a plan that you have, Thomas?
It's a devious plan. I think to answer this question, there's a whole litany of good and potentially bad reasons. But I think where you and there's no other evidence or
behavioral changes,
red flags or anything like that. The dude's just trying to be nicer. I think.
I think
sounds
so.
like it.
I like it.
Good. Next.
All right. So I didn't want to do work this week, so I put a question in the
Sure.
group, and y'all did my work for me, and I was so grateful. I was actually welcoming some new members. We've had quite a few new members join in the last couple of weeks.
Hello,
so
new
my
readers.
new member of our Ghosts of Boyfriends Past group therapy question was, what's the worst present that you've ever received from a date?
A date.
So a date or a partner. So here's some of the responses, and then I'm going to ask you yours if you can think about it. So Steve, friend of the podcast, Steve, always hilarious, entertaining stories, Steve, says, I'm not a new member, but, and I'm like, it wasn't just for new members, Steve. He said, I dated someone briefly who knew that I was keen on politics, so they bought me a book that they thought that I might like. It was about an American politician. It was Sarah Palin's biography.
Yeah.
I can see Russia from my house. Yes, that one. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. M says, my ex took me to a concert for his favourite band on my birthday, even though he knew wasn't my type of music.
I mean, come on. You surely should have seen there's a little bit of a foible there.
We've got Erin says, slightly different to what you asked, but when I first started dating my first long-term partner, he sat me down and he said he had something important to talk to me about. He said, there's a holiday coming up and I need you to know how you feel about it. Valentine's Day. I don't believe in it. I don't need a certain day to buy you gifts and tell you I love you. I'd rather I tell you I love you every day and surprise you with gifts randomly throughout the year. I wasn't worried. I'd never celebrated it before, and my birthday is only 2 days later. Well, after 4 years, I had never received a random present. I had never received a random present at all, unless you count one day when I picked him up from work because he let his rego lapse and he decided we could just share mine, and he got in the car and passed me a cookie dough Kit Kat. I was stoked. Then he said, I wanted something else from the vending machine, and the idiot who loaded it just put one of these at the front, so I had to buy 2 chocolates. So yeah, no Valentine's Day and no sweet, thoughtful presents ever.
Oh, dear. I'm so sorry for that. I'm sorry I keep laughing at everyone's responses. It's quite...
Marnie says she got the most hideous purple macrame belt with shells on it.
Shells.
Yep,
Shells.
macrame with shells. She says not a bad gift in the scheme of things, but it was because macrame was big at the time, but it was so very ugly. Look, I'm going to have to split these over a couple of episodes, but I've got one more.
Great.
Elodie says, I was taken on a surprise adventure for my birthday where he took me drag racing in a rally car. I mean, it was fun, but very obvious that it was totally for him. I had to buy my own hot lap where the pro guys take you around the track and drove really fast. What a time it was. And then she's posted this adorable photo with the caption, this girl really thought that she was going on a hot air balloon this day.
She sat behind
She's
the
like
wheel of a car.
covered in mud, trying to look happy, just like not quite the romantic little picture that she thought.
Not quite. Nearly, but not quite.
Please join our Ghosts of Boyfriends Task Group Therapy Group. We have the opportunity to read out your answers on air because we ask these kinds of little questions in there all of the time.
Yes, that's right. And to answer that question myself, I don't have a specific one that leaps to mind, but my answer will be... My ex-girlfriend and I, one year, I think it was Christmas, and her present, and it was just totally fine. I'm not bothered by gifts or presents at all. It's the fact you got something for me is brilliant. But one of our year, the present I got her was much, the gulf in sort of presents class, let's say, was great. It was obvious and great. And I don't care at all, but that was probably where I got shirt and shorts from Target, and the thing of something like that, some little
extravagant thing,
and the thing I got her was much bigger and grander. So probably the golf in gift.
Yeah, that's a big thing that you've got to discuss, like especially if you're in a new relationship. Like, okay, so what sort of vibe we going here? Are we going? I don't know even how you approach that, but I feel like you've got to chat about it, right?
Yes, I'm sure people like to set little limits, set my financial limits, $20, $40, $60. Yeah, that's right. So how are we doing it?
Just accept my love, damn it.
That's right. It shouldn't be about. It should be that the fact that
not reciprocal.
Yeah, that someone thought of you in this cold, bleak world. That should be enough. We know the answer to this already, but people need to hear it, Liz. Is it okay to have sex on a first date?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is, everybody. It's fine.
It's producer Zane said it's mandatory. I don't think I'd go that far. I actually had an online argument with somebody the other day about that. I did. I don't normally involve myself in online arguments, but someone had a chat. It was some love story that someone had posted somewhere where she had sex with someone on the first date and then it didn't go so well, and someone was just like, I guess if you had more respect for yourself, you wouldn't keep getting hurt like this. And I'm like, excuse me, but I can still respect the shit out of myself for getting it on the first date. Like, abso-fucking-lutely. And may I just say, my bestie, and I have many, so you can't specify which one I'm talking about, but one of my besties did have the sex on the first date and she wasn't super keen, and now they're so ridiculously in love that it's frankly disgusting. She didn't think that half the reason why she had sex with him on the first date is because she didn't think that it was going anywhere, but by God did it go somewhere. So like, there's no rules anymore. You're not like, there's none of this fucking high-fiving a guy for having sex on the first date and then telling a woman she doesn't respect herself for, I've even heard stories where men have been like, I was really interested in you, but then you had sex with me on the first date, so now I've lost respect with you. And I think that is the biggest load of bullshit, and you have dodged a bullet by getting out of that. But yes, absolutely. If you feel like you want to have sex just for sex, have sex. If you feel like you're into someone and you decide you both are consenting adults and would like to have sex on the first date, you have sex whenever the fuck you want to, as long as it's legal.
Absolutely. As
Not with a floor show.
We already knew the answer.
Yes.
But we do have to tell.
And if you disagree, write in and I'll fight you.
Yep, if you want to fight on the internet, send in your disagreements to ghostofboyfriendspast@gmail.com.
You tell me how much you think I don't respect myself if I decide I want to have sex on the first date, and we'll see who ends up on top in this fight.
That'll be a bout for the future. As to the rest of you, the well-behaved ones that aren't fighting with my co-host in the future, thank you for tuning in to Ghosts of Boyfriends Past. Gee whiz, it means the world to me and Liz and Zane for tuning in, checking us out. While you're bouncing around the internet, there's a lot to sing and do. Go to that'snotcanon.com and check out other shows
there
that are
are
on this.
So many
that
ridiculously amazing podcasts on this network with pretty much nearly any topic that I've been able to think of. I don't think that there's something that I've gone, is there a podcast on here that either isn't currently airing or hasn't at some point been airing on this network? Or no crypto podcasts, and that's because there's a ban on them.
Now, isn't that a selling point?
There's not a ban on them, but I say they're banned.
Otherwise, go well. Good luck to you all. Stay safe. Send in your thoughts, your questions, your responses to the show. And, good luck.
La la la